And so what I first like to get you to think about is if you are going to work on a startup seriously, diligently, and with the passion you should and must apply in order to succeed, the odds are you are going to spend the next 20,000 hours of your life working on this business. That's 5 years, 80 hours a week, very few vacations, very few weekends. And by the time you get done, the man or woman you used to sleep with is barely going to recognize you when you crawl in between the sheets. The dog will bark at you, who is this stranger coming into my house? And your friends will have moved on. And so if you are going to give your startup that kind of dedication, why not start in the earliest days of that startup trying to stress and improve and build out the idea to make it as strong as you possibly can going in the door so that you can improve on it from there by learning from your customers and doing some of the other things we're going to talk about shortly. Now, when I started my first company, I was 22 years old. I was, I guess, a year and a half out of college, and I went home to my working class parents to tell them I was leaving a fabulous job because I couldn't imagine doing it for 40 years, and I wanted to be my own boss, and I thought I had a pretty good bead on a business that would at least get started, basically a marketing services agency. My parents were deeply distressed. Startups weren't cool in 1972, I assure you, and there was no money, venture funding, angel funding. Maybe Uncle Fred would lend you money, but I didn't happen to have a wealthy Uncle Fred, so I had to do it on my own. But the point was not about getting rich. It was about being the boss, figuring this stuff out, starting something that I could call my own, that I could change in any way I chose over time. And I think you, as an entrepreneur in this economy, need to think about why you're doing this. Because there are going to be horrible, boring, ugly, frustrating, depressing days in those 5 long years of work. And money is not going to be what carries you through. What carries you through is working on something you love, building something that's your own, that you're proud of. And make sure you think hard about your motivation, because unfortunately in today's economy there are too few jobs, or relatively I guess, at banks and big corporations, and so a lot of people who would really prefer to have a regular computerized paycheck and a health insurance program and benefits don't find that alternative, and so they become entrepreneurs for lack of something they really prefer to do.